What better place to celebrate the 4th of July than Independence Hall here in Philadelphia? Happy birthday, America.
Took it outside and destroyed it. Have you guys ever destroyed anything, like intentionally destroyed something before? Yeah, and if you did, why did you do that? Anger, frustration, what did you say? Embarrassment, all right. Satisfaction, okay. Well, these guys, I'm going to tell you, they were mad. They were angry.
Spread to the left and the right. Do not congest the entryway. We have plenty of space, we just have to spread out.
All right, I'm a tall guy, so I'm gonna call dibs on that tallest chair up front. And all the paintings and all the recreations, I don't remember this chandelier. That hangs pretty low, actually.
And I will come right to the middle, folks. Branches of government here. Upstairs would have been your executive branch. But this was also the assembly room. So this is later a room that gets loaned out to that group of people that I mentioned. And that group of people is going to include a lot of our founding fathers.
So I absolutely never appreciated, based on paintings and photos, how small this room is. It's only about 40 feet by 40 feet, which is, what, about 15 by 15 meters. It's really not very big. There aren't even all that many chairs, although I guess there are only 13 colonies with maybe a couple of delegates from each, so maybe they didn't need that many chairs. That apparently is George Washington's original chair up front, is the only original chair in the room. But yeah, that chandelier. If I were wearing a tall hat, it would bump on that chandelier. Not very high off the ground. Apparently all this woodwork has been redone. It's not original. The place has been thoroughly renovated and restored. But they did a nice job with it. A good gunsmith could probably get these cannons in working order again. Here we see the Independence Hall gift shop. Kind of a joke though, they don't sell guns in there at all. Here we have one of the very first printed copies of the Declaration of Independence, not handwritten. And one of the original copies of the Articles of Confederation. And this apparently is George Washington's copy of the final draft of the Constitution. Well, look at that. It's Revolution o'clock. I am here next to Independence Hall. This is where Congress met, at least the House of Representatives, for the first 10 years of the American Republic. And again, this is not a huge room, but it is big enough to accommodate all of the representatives. So it does need to be bigger than that other room. Apparently James Madison liked to sit right there at that corner because it was next to the fireplace. He liked to stay warm in the winter, I guess. But yeah, this room is quite a bit bigger. It had to accommodate all of the representatives. It still had to be small enough, though, that in a day before microphones, they could all hear each other. So, yeah, pretty cool. And the Senate met upstairs. And this is what they did until 1800, until the new capital of Washington, D.C. could be completed. What time is it? You know what time it is. It's time for independence.
It used to be, when in the past, we used to do it about 5 months out.
And here we have the first chambers where the Supreme Court met, at least from 1790 to 1800. This again is just on the other side of Independence Hall. So we had the Congress Hall on one side, we got the Supreme Court chambers on the other, Independence Hall right in the middle. Kind of interesting. Here we have an original document from October 1765, which essentially essentially announces the official intentions of the colony to boycott British goods in response to the Stamp Act. An original newspaper from 1774. Here's a leaflet that would have been distributed in 1774. Remarkably good condition. Here we have a tankard from the time of the Revolution. This would have been made out of pewter, probably here in Philadelphia. Some revolutionary would have drunk out of this. Was it ever used to beat a British soldier to death? Well, the plaque doesn't say, but I'm going to assume that it was several times, yes. Here's an original letter written by a young Quaker who defied his community at about 1776 and joined the Continental Army. He was kind of like a Jedi, kind of like Anakin Skywalker, you know, fighting in the Clone Wars when the Jedi Council didn't approve. Pretty much the same thing. Here we have Revolutionary War era lottery tickets. Apparently the U.S. government tried a lottery for a while to raise money, but it didn't work very well. Probably would work better now. Hey, honey. Hannah Marshall did this embroidery when she was 13.
Good for her.
Could you do this when you were 13?
I couldn't do that now.
So this is a man's wallet of that Revolutionary War period. Apparently they liked colorful wallets back then. Here we have a handkerchief, probably about 20 inches wide. It depicts George Washington. This apparently was commissioned by Martha Washington. She had some of these printed up during the time of the Revolution. Now, they don't allow guns in the museum. They got a sign at the entrance, but somebody snuck this one in. Here's a little portrait of Louis XVI. This is apparently before the beheading because he's still got his head in this picture. Here's the Liberty Bell. It does not ring anymore. Make of that what you will. We're here at the Constitution Museum. They do at least have a sense of humor here. Saved by the Bell. No gains without pains. Ben Franklin knew what was up. All right, we've been told there's a Gorgon named Medusa who lives around here somewhere, and we haven't managed to find her. But we have seen all these really detailed statues. So we think maybe she's some kind of sculptor. She must be really good because they're very, very detailed and very lifelike. I don't know. We'll keep an eye out for her. What could be more American than playing baseball on the 4th of July with a constitutional baseball? I'm not going to do that, though. This guy doesn't look so tough. I bet he can't go the distance. He doesn't have the eye of the tiger. My God, the architecture here is gorgeous. Everybody comes here and is focused on that stupid statue. He traveled all that way to the Emerald City. He got the wizard to give him courage. Look where it got him in the end. I'm here in front of Ping Pong Kitchen. Is that racist? I don't know. It's a cultural experience beyond the boundaries of taste.